Who is Nicholas Biwott? He was always known as the Total Man, and also he was Kipiator Arap Biwott, and mostly uh, he was always shy. He didn't like talking in public, and with his raspy, low, and nearly soprano voice, he could never, he didn't like speaking in public. He was just a man who could just speak very little. Um, in public, he could appear very shy, and but you know, mostly his power could be felt far beyond State House. His leadership skills or his leadership style has always been described as cold, calculated, and deliberate. He was a man who could be very quiet, and at no account will you ever see him take a microphone to speak or to shout to anybody. At no account will would you see Nicholas Biwott looking at his watch for any leader or any speaker that time is up or something. At no account would you ever see him pushing any leader that his time is up. He is not supposed to be walking on the red carpet. He was not that kind of a person. But then he was a very rough man just behind the scenes, and his words would always remain constant. Let me say he was the one directing the State House during the reign of President Moi, and his like I said, his voice or his sentiments were taken into action to the very latter. You know, you know, Nicholas Biwott, one thing you don't know about him was that he was the first African student to study in Australia in 1961 for his degree in education. Again, he was also ranked as the wealthiest among the wealthiest Kenyans by that time. He was also ranked among the African top 50 billionaires. When he died in 2020, Nicholas Biwott was buried in a bulletproof golden casket worth billions. You can imagine, this was not just an ordinary man. So, I have seen people trying to compare Nicholas Biwott with Farouk Kibet. To some extent, I see a lot of difference. Those two people are not the same. Yes, some of their characteristics may be the same in that their command stance and what they say should be followed to the latter. And if they don't like you, they don't like you. But then, if you see Farouk Kibet, he talks in public, and yeah, he talks in public. Again, Farouk Kibet can push you out of the red carpet. You see what he did to Mbadi, CS Mbadi last week. Like, he was pushing him away from the red carpet. And again, in the Ruto's rally in Mount Kenya, you saw him taking pictures, on the rooftop or on the vehicles' sky roofs. That would never happen with Nicholas Biwott. Nicholas Biwott would never, and I say never, show himself in public talking. In fact, he was very shy in public. He could not talk at all. But then, what he could do behind the scenes or privately when enclosed in State House or in his hotels could shock everybody. He could make decisions that everybody would be left wondering how, why, who is controlling. But then he was the one controlling. So that's Nicholas Kipiator Farouk Biwott. Don't compare those two people at all. They are not compatible at all. That's all about Nicholas Biwott.